Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Emma. This is Sarah, and along with our other trainers, we'd like to welcome you to the Parrot Paradise Amphitheater. Is everybody having fun today? You're excited to meet some awesome birds? Yeah. Not too bad.
Not too bad, but I think we can do a little better than that.
I said, are you guys ready to meet some exciting birds? Yeah. Much better, I think.
That is much better. So a question we often get asked is what we do here at African Lion Safari. And the answer is often, we clean. And then when that's done, we clean some more. But sometimes we're lucky enough to get some help from nature's very own cleanup crew. Coming out now is Crojo, and he's our African pied crow to help clean up this mess. Now these guys have the unfortunate reputation of being dirty birds, as they are often seen feasting on roadkill or picking through our garbage cans. However, not only are they intelligent for taking advantage of our waste, but they are also helping us by getting rid of germs and bacteria that could make you or I ill. Now, Crojo has done an excellent job today. His final message to us all is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Off goes Crojo, our African pied crow. Now, our next bird is the face of a popular children's cereal. Coming out now is Papaya, and she is our chestnut mandible toucan, also known as the Swainson's toucan. Now when she comes out, you'll notice that she has quite the bill there. It can be up to 4 times the size of her head and almost the length of her body. But despite its large size, it actually weighs less than all of the feathers on her body combined. Now scientists have proposed several theories as to the use of this bill. For one, it could be used for mate selection. So females do have smaller bills than males, and males will have a more curved bill, and it could prove to attract females. Another idea that they have as to the use of this bill is like the radiator of a car, it helps keep the bird cool or heats them up when the cooler weather. Now these guys also use these bills to reach fruit that is in hard to reach places, particularly on branches that wouldn't otherwise be able to support their weight. Now, as you can see, she is actually related to the woodpecker, and this relationship is shared through their zygodactyl feet, so that means that they have 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back, rather than the 3 toes in the front and the 1 toe in the back that we normally see with these birds. But I think Papaya has done an excellent job today, so that was Papaya, our Swainson's toucan.
Now here in Ontario, we have the belted kingfisher, but the largest member of the kingfisher family is actually the laughing kookaburra. So we're going to get Fez to come on out here, show off a couple of different flights here. Now, as I mentioned, he is the largest member of the laughing kookaburra family, and these guys actually are most famous for that rolling, laughing territorial call. Now what these birds do is they fly to the edge of their territory, let out a big rolling laugh, and then they wait for their neighbors to respond. That way they know where one territory ends and the next one does begin. Now I think Fez has done a wonderful job for us today. We're going to get one long flight all the way back to his hatch. What do you say, Fez? Now these birds are actually very family-oriented birds. The young of one generation will stick around for about 4 years, helping their parents raise future offspring. But I think he's done a wonderful job for us, and it's Fez, our laughing kookaburra. Now the next bird who's going to make his way out is quite well known. You guys should recognize him right away. He's actually the national bird of India. He's going to make his way out here. Here comes Raj. He is, of course, our Indian peafowl. Now, it's only actually the males like Raj here that are known as peacocks. Females are peahens, and the young are pea chicks. But of course, it is the males with those beautiful long train feathers. Now, many people believe that these are tail feathers. However, they're actually modified back feathers. They use those shorter, stiffer train feathers to prop up that train during the breeding season. Now, it is only the males that get these. They use those train feathers to display the females during the breeding season, which is occurring right now. If you would come to see Raj later in the season, he would actually lose all of those feathers. But I do think he's done a wonderful job for us today. So is Raj, our Indian peafowl.
So our next bird is coming all the way from Australia, but before we bring him out, I'm going to need the help of a brave volunteer. How about you in the yellow? You seem pretty excited. Yeah, why don't you come on down to Emma and she'll put you straight to work. Now I think it's only fair that we give our volunteer a heads up on who he's going to be feeding today. So I'm going to give you a couple hints and you just shout out if you know the bird I'm talking about. So clue number 1, it is the national bird of Australia. He is unable to fly, and he is the second largest bird, second only to the ostrich. Starts with an E. You can shout it out if you know the answer. Emu, that's right. So coming out now, we'll meet Mombo, and he is our Australian emu. Now when he comes out, you'll notice that he has quite the legs on him. And with those legs, he can top speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
Now when he came running over here, you may have heard that rustling. That is coming from his tail feathers, which are actually stiff and coarse at the ends. And he uses them rattling to actually scare off predators such as dingoes. And while I think Mumbo has done an excellent job today, let's hear it for our brave volunteer. So we've just shown you a bird that is incapable of flight, but now we're really going to switch things up and show you the only mammal capable of true flight. Does anyone know what that is? A bat, that's right, I heard it. So coming out shortly will be Dewey, and he is our Indian flying fox. Now you are going to get a nice close look at him, but don't worry, he's not going to come into the audience and suck your blood. Dewey here is a fruit bat. There are actually over 1,000 species of bat found worldwide in every continent except for Antarctica, and of these, only 3 feed on blood, and these are the vampire bats of Central and South America. Now as a fruit bat, Dewey here likes to feed on nectar, pollen, and fruit, and he plays an important role in seed dispersal. So what he does is he finds a piece of fruit that he'd like to chew on. He chews, but he only ingests the juices. He actually spits out the pulp, the seeds, and everything else. And while this is quite messy, he does an excellent job spreading around those seeds, which allows our forest to grow in quite nicely. Now you'll notice that he is hanging upside down. That's the natural position for a bat, and is made possible by several biological and physiological adaptations that restrict blood flow to his head. It also serves as an excellent means of escape. All he has to do is drop those feet, bring out his wings, and he's off in an instant. And we are actually going to get a demonstration of this right now. Now, when he does bring out those wings, I want you to take a good look at them and take a good look at your own hands because they're actually quite similar. Dewey's wings are actually more similar to our hands than to that of a bird's wings. What he has is 4 elongated fingers with that leathery webbing in between, and where our thumbs are, he has hooks which allows him to hook onto things and climb around the trees. Now I think Dewey has done an excellent job today, so let's hear it for Dewey, our Indian flying fox.
All right, well, we are going to bring the show back to birds. We're going to actually introduce to you the largest bird we fly here at Parrot Paradise. We're going to have Maybelline, our Abyssinian ground hornbill, come on out. Now she might show off that impressive wingspan. These birds typically have a wingspan of about 6 feet wide. Now we did name her Maybelline after the famous cosmetics company. I'd say there's her beautiful wingspan. Well, she does actually have these great long eyelashes. They're not hairs like yours or mine. They're actually made out of modified feathers to help to keep the harmful dust out of her eyes in her natural environment. Now these birds prey upon a variety of things in the wild, from small mammals and reptiles to birds and insects on the wing. So we're going to set up a little bit of a hunt for her. I'm going to place her favorite toy on the ground there. It is a rubber snake. Well, watch as she does this because she's actually going to take a look at that snake and she's going to grab it in a specific spot. Now she's going to grab that snake right behind the head. In the wild, these birds prey upon venomous snakes as well as non-venomous, so she's making sure to keep her feet nice and far back to ensure that she could never turn around and be bitten. Now, of course, we're not going to let her eat that snake. It is a rubber snake, so we just traded off for a juicy piece of meat. Now take a look underneath her throat pouch there. You'll notice that it's a deep blue coloration. This actually indicates that Maybelline is a female Abyssinian ground hornbill, as males of her species develop a bright red throat pouch once they reach maturity. But as a true ground hornbill, and as her name suggests, she much rather prefers to walk or run along the ground, so it's Maybelline, our Abyssinian ground hornbill. Now being here at Parrot Paradise, it would only be fair to introduce to you guys some parrots, especially the macaws, since they are some of the largest members of the parrot family. Now currently there are 16 species of macaws remaining, as many have gone extinct. Of the 16 remaining, they're certainly not doing all that well for themselves, as many are endangered or even critically endangered. After the show, we would like to introduce or allow you guys to look at some of our parrots over in the Pets Corner area, especially Olivia and Newton. They're a pair of blue-throated macaws. This is currently the most endangered species macaw in the wild. They're only found in Bolivia. They estimate less than 130 left in the wild today. But for right now, we would like to introduce you some other species that we house here at African Lion Safari.
So coming out now with those bright, beautiful colors is Doc. She's our scarlet macaw, as well as Sarge, our military macaw. And on the right, we have some more, such as our blue and gold, and our other great green macaw. Now these birds are quite intelligent. Their intelligence has been compared to that of dolphins, apes, and even 3-year-old children. For this reason, it's important that we keep them mentally stimulated through a series of games, puzzles, and toys. And an example of this is what we have set up center stage. It's a cup attached to a rope attached to a pole, and in that cup is Sergeant's favorite treat. So I'm just going to place him up on this pole, and he's going to have to figure out all on his own how to get to that treat. Now, true to his name, he's going to slide down that pole fireman style, using his beak as a third foot, until he's level with the cup and reaches in and grabs his treat. No problem.
No, they don't seem too impressed with Sergeant today.
Come on, guys, not even a little pity of that.
There we go.
There we go. Now, Sarge, lucky for you, always has a backup plan. He'd like to give it right now, and he'll sign us all off with a wing wave.
There we go. The wing wave usually wins over a few more people, but we do like to remind you all, we don't train the birds how to do this. All we do is put them up onto that perch. It's up to them to figure out how to get to their treat. Now Doc here, our scarlet macaw, has a little bit of a different style to get to her treat. We don't know if she's lazier than Sergeant, maybe a little bit wiser, but she says, why waste all that energy sliding down the pole? I can easily just pull the entire thing up to me. Hardest part for her is dipping her head into that cup, but as you can see, she gets her treat, no problem. Now before we start our next little demonstration, we are going to need the help of one more volunteer who would like to help us out today. See lots of hands. How about you with the gray sweater and the striped shirt in the front? Sarah will just let you in right at the gate. Now I do have a question for all of you, and just by show of hands, how many of you think these birds can see in color? A couple people. Okay, how about a few honest people? How many of you just don't really know if they can see in color? A couple more. And for those truly honest people, how many just don't care? There's always a few of you out there. Well, that's okay. Doc does care quite a bit. She actually has one of her favorite treats riding on this next demonstration. So what we have here is just a table with 4 different colored rings: red, blue, green, and yellow. And it's Doc's job to find those yellow rings amongst all the other colors and put them up onto the yellow post. Looks like our volunteer's going with one big stack there. Looks pretty tricky. We'll see if Doc can figure this one out. She grabs that first yellow ring, up onto the post it goes. Let's see if she can spot that other one though. She reaches, she does. She says, you can't fool me. Of course I can see in color. Let's hear it for Doc as well as our brave volunteers.
So we do have one final question for you all. What are parrots most famous for? Talking, that's right. So contrary to popular belief, it's not the larger parrots that make the better talkers. It's actually the smaller ones, such as the Amazons, the African greys, even the cockatiels and budgies that you may have at home. So center stage is our star chatterbox here at Safari. It's Wasabi, our yellow-fronted Amazon parrot. And he may have picked up on a few words that he's heard during his time here.
Well, usually he likes to start things off by greeting everyone. Pretty straightforward hellos. Well, he loves to introduce himself, so go ahead and tell everyone what's your name. Very excited introduction of Wasabi there. And he always follows that up with a polite question. Very cheerful. How are you all? I see some smiles out there. Wasabi, thanks for asking. Now you can't tell by looking at him, but Wasabi is a male yellow-fronted Amazon. That's because both the males and the females of most parrot species, they look exactly the same. So to tell them apart, we rely on DNA testing. But before we got the results back from Wasabi, we kind of had a feeling that he was a male. He is quite the little flirt, and he doesn't stop flirting with those female Amazons. A little bit of a whistle. Not too sure if that does the trick. Do you have any more up your sleeve? Loves blowing those girls some kisses. Well, these guys are very playful by nature, and Wasabi's no exception. So this is his favorite game that he loves to play with his trainers. Yes, he calls us over with a little tickle tickle. So we go over, we give him a scratch. But sometimes he turns around and he bites us on our finger. I don't think he's trying to hurt us at all, though. He just realized he loves what we say when he bites us. It sounds exactly like us. We do say ow quite a few times. But I heard a couple laughs out there. They think that's funny that you bite us. You don't think that's funny, though, do you? A little comedian playing the trick on us, that's okay. Well, he has picked up on a few sound effects working closely with us here, including what we sound like when we drink a nice cold glass of water. Thirsty chuggalugs. Most recently, he's picked up on the purr of a little kitten. Happy little purr there. But my personal favorite definitely is the bark of a ferocious dog. That wasn't intimidating at all. He clearly needs some work on that ferociousness of his. Well, Wasabi is a huge fan of the holidays. It was no surprise when we found out what his favorite one was. It was definitely Christmas, because every time the season's upon us, he goes out and says the phrase that Santa Claus is most famous for. Very festive little bird there. He's also very musically talented as well. These birds are pretty well known for their whistling and singing abilities, so we thought, why not? We'll teach Wasabi a couple songs, but us as trainers are honest enough to say we're terribly off key, so I'm afraid you might have to use your imagination a bit, but I'll get him to warm up his voice before he starts. That sounds perfectly in tune to me. These guys are all from South America, but they all have been hatched out here right in Canada. So they are very patriotic birds, and I think Wasabi has a patriotic song he'd like to sing. Very patriotic national anthem there. Well, I'm glad you guys seem to enjoy that. Maybe we're not too bad after all, but I'm gonna give you a hint with this next one anyway. By a show of hands, does it happen to be anybody's birthday today? Is anyone, you up there, anybody's birthday? All right, what about in the month of June? A lot of June babies in the audience. But I didn't see everyone, and I don't want to leave anyone out, so what about within the next year? Birthday in a year? All right, that's what I thought. Well, whenever your special day may be, this song is for you. Happy birthday to 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 you. A little bit of a birthday wish for Wasabi. Well, as you can see, he is pretty talented, but with all that talent comes a lot of hard work. So Wasabi's very proud of where he works. So Wasabi, would you like to tell everyone where you work? African Lion Safari. He works right here at African Lion Safari. Now at the safari we have a pretty famous motto. We love to tell our guests to have a wild day. But Wasabi, what exactly do we tell our guests? You go wild from Wasabi to all of you today. And I think he has one last thing to say. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye would have been foot wave. A little foot wave goodbye. We do want to thank you for joining us here at Parrot Paradise. Before you leave, a friendly reminder, around the corner in our Conservation Center in 10 minutes time will be our Birds of Prey flying demonstration. So enjoy that as well as the rest of your day here at African Lion Safari. Bye.
Thank you.